So, you just got the Turtle Beach Stealth Ultra and want to know everything about it. Well, you've come to the right place. I'm Bijan Jamshidi. Let's get started with what you get. When you open the carrying case, you'll see the Stealth Ultra with the conspicuous command display, a long USB-C cable, and a magnetic charging dock with a USB-A port. If you unzip the top of the case, you'll find the USB-A transmitter, and lastly, you get two pairs of thumbstick grips which are the same size as the standard Xbox controller, but have a concave shape and different grip patterns. And they're easy to put on. Just press them into the thumbstick like so, and voila! Now, to start, the first thing you'll want to do is update the controller and transmitter firmware to the latest versions. Connect the USB-A transmitter to your console or PC, and power on the Stealth Ultra by holding the Xbox logo for 2 seconds. By default, the controller will operate in wireless mode and connect to the USB-A transmitter. Next, download the Control Center 2 app for Windows PC or Xbox consoles, launch it, and click on the upper right-hand tab that says Firmware. You'll see two options to begin update for either the controller or transmitter. Start with the transmitter first. The update will take about 1 minute. When it's finished updating, remove the transmitter from your Xbox or PC, then plug in the included USB-C cable into your device and to the controller so it operates in wired mode. Now, go back to the Control Center 2 app and press Begin Update for the controller. After the controller finishes updating, reconnect the transmitter to your device, then power on the controller to reconnect it with the transmitter for wireless use. Now your firmware should be up to date. If for any reason the update fails, such as an app closure or system reboot, plug the hardware back in, reload the app, and restart the process. Also, if you're updating through a PC, to ensure the best chances that your update doesn't fail, make sure Control Center 2 is in focus at all times until the update is complete. If you put another window in focus, the update may fail. Now, the Stealth Ultra has a few connection methods. As we already covered in the firmware update part of the video, you can connect it to a PC or Xbox with the USB transmitter, or via a wired connection with the included USB-C cable. But you can also connect it to a mobile device and smart TV via Bluetooth. Now, since the magnetic charging dock has a USB port, you can plug the USB transmitter into the dock, then plug the dock into your console or PC, requiring the use of only one USB port. Then, if you want to connect the controller seamlessly to another device, just enable the Bluetooth mode via the command display, and you won't have to worry about moving the USB transmitter around. To do this, click on the Input Focus button, which is the button that has this little plus icon on the bottom of the controller. Then you'll see the A, B, X, Y buttons show up next to each of the functions that you can control. For example, if you click A, you'll access the notifications your phone received since it was connected to the Stealth Ultra. If you click X, you'll mute and unmute your microphone. If you click B, you're adjusting the sound settings. And if you click Y, you'll land in the main settings page, which is what we're going to be focusing on for now. So click Y. In the main settings, the first thing you'll likely see is the connection settings, which is labeled as Connect. Click A to access it, and this is where you can choose if you want to connect to the USB-A transmitter or Bluetooth. So let's say I want to connect the Stealth Ultra to my phone. All I have to do is go to the Smart Devices option and click A to turn on the Stealth Ultra's Bluetooth. Then I go to my phone's Bluetooth settings and click on Stealth Ultra, and it's now connected to my phone for playing games. There's a different process to start receiving notifications from your phone, but we'll get to that later. Now, to connect to a smart TV, the process is similar to connecting to a phone. Select the Smart Device option, press A to turn the Bluetooth connection on, go to your TV's Bluetooth settings, and select Stealth Ultra. If you want to connect back to the wireless transmitter, go back to the connection settings, click Wireless Xbox/PC, then click A to activate it. Now, if you want to pair the controller to another device or to a replacement USB-A receiver, you click the Y button for pairing mode, and you can change which USB receiver or device you want to connect to, such as another phone, tablet, etc. You also could use the controller in wired mode by connecting the included USB cable to the device and to the controller if you wanted to play while charging the controller. The button layout on the Stealth Ultra is similar to a standard Xbox controller, but with some extras. And every button on the Stealth Ultra, except for the triggers, are micro switch buttons. Speaking of, the triggers on the Stealth Ultra have locks next to them. Slide the lock towards the trigger, and this shortens the travel length of that trigger significantly, allowing for quicker and easier semi-automatic shots in shooter games, and quicker moves and combos in fighter games. To go back to full travel triggers, slide them towards the center of the controller. You can lock just the left side, just the right side, or both, whatever makes you happy. Now, the other extra buttons that the Stealth Ultra has are the quick action buttons, which are mappable to virtually any button you want to assign to them. To do this, we'll need to go back to the command display. Activate the command display by clicking on the input focus button on the bottom of the controller, click Y, and we're back to the main settings page. Use the left or right D-pad buttons until you find the buttons page, then click A. Now you're able to select P1 through P4, depending on which buttons you want to assign, and set any button you want to those action buttons. Just make sure you're assigning the button you want to the correct action button. As for what you can assign to the action buttons, there are a lot. You can do the ABXY buttons, the triggers, bumpers, thumbstick clicks, any D-pad direction, and Pro Aim, which when held, lowers the sensitivity of the right thumbstick, allowing for easier long-range shots. And that's all there is to the action buttons. Now let's go through what else you can control through the command display. Next is App Link. This will allow the controller to receive your phone's notifications and display them on the command display. Now, if you're an Android user, you'll need the Control Center 2 app on your phone, which can be found on the Google Play Store. iPhone users don't need the Control Center 2 app to enable social notifications, but I recommend installing it anyways because you'll be able to take advantage of all adjustments available for the Stealth Ultra in the mobile app. Now, once it's installed, open it and make sure you click Allow if your phone prompts you that Control Center 2 wants to use Bluetooth. Go to the App Link settings on the command display, click A to activate it, then go back to the phone and click the plus button towards the bottom of the screen. Now, you'll start getting notifications from your phone to your Stealth Ultra screen as long as it's connected to the controller. And just like with the Bluetooth and wireless Xbox PC connection settings, you can click Y to put it in pairing mode to connect to another phone. Next on the command display, you have the lighting settings, which will let you change things starting with what color you want. You have a few gradient colors, and if you press the left bumper or right bumper, you'll also see solid colors. You can also change your effects to a whole slew of different effects, and the speed of said effect can go slower or faster depending on what you like. Next, you have the vibration settings, which allows you to adjust the vibration strength of each side of the controller, and also allows you to change the vibration strength of the triggers. You can even make one side stronger or weaker than the other. They don't have to be symmetrical. This could be kind of cool and useful if you want the vibration strength of the right trigger to be stronger to represent pulling a trigger on a gun, and the left one to be softer or weaker to represent scoping in. Next, we have the axis mapping, which allows you to adjust the dead zones of the joysticks and triggers. Now, the joysticks on the Stealth Ultra are Hall effect sticks and are anti-drift sticks, so you'll virtually never need to worry about drifting. But you could add a dead zone because you might be used to it from other controllers, since Hall effect sensors naturally have a smaller dead zone than potentiometer sticks, aka normal joysticks. Now, as for the response curve of the joysticks, this will allow you to choose whether you want your aim to have a linear movement like pretty much any controller you're probably used to, or if you want the response to be dynamic and adjust based on how fast your initial movement of the joystick is. This is something you're going to need to try out for yourself to see what fits best because this is more subjective than anything. Next, we have the headset mixer. If you don't have anything plugged into the 3.5mm audio jack on the bottom of the controller, this option will be grayed out. But if you have something plugged in, you can access this menu and press the left or right bumpers to move on to the next mixer setting. The settings you can play around with are volume, chat mix, which will make the game or chat louder, your mic monitoring, which will allow you to hear yourself while talking, mic gain, which basically makes you louder or quieter to other people, mic mute and unmute, and different sound equalizers, including Turtle Beach's exclusive superhuman hearing. You don't even have to go to the main settings to control the sound settings. As long as something is plugged in, you can pretty much control all of this on the home screen as well. Now, as you can see, there is a lot that you can control with the Stealth Ultra. But what makes it easy to deal with on a day-to-day basis is the ability to save all of your changes to any of the 10 available onboard profiles. So, if you share the controller with a lot of people, or more likely, you want to have different profiles for different games or genres, you can. And all changes you make while in a particular profile automatically saves to that profile. Now we're not done with the command display just yet, because next we have the social notifications, which are similar to what you already have on the home screen, they're just here as well. Lastly, for the command display, you have the system settings, which lets you check your firmware version, allows you to calibrate the triggers and anti-drift Hall effect joysticks, increase or decrease the screen brightness and RGB lighting of the controller, change the sleep timeout to tell it how much inactivity it needs before it turns itself off, and the power mode for the controller. Now, for the power modes, all you're changing is the brightness of the screen, the RGB LED brightness, and the screen and sleep timeout. Depending on the mode you choose will determine how much battery life the controller will have on a single charge. However, none of the modes have any effect on the polling rate or responsiveness of the controller. For the modes, you have Eco, Balanced, and Full Power. For Full Power, everything is on and the screen is set to the brightest setting. This will give you about 7 hours with the headset plugged into the audio jack and 8 hours with no audio. For Balanced, it'll lower the screen brightness a little and set the timeout shorter, increasing the battery life to 9 hours with audio and 10 without. Now, as for Eco, this will decrease the screen brightness to the lowest possible setting, it'll turn off the RGB LED and vibration, and it'll set the sleep timeout to the lowest setting, giving you 20 hours of battery life with audio and a whopping 33 hours without audio. So you can do a 24-hour live stream on one charge with plenty more hours left to spare. You also have a custom mode which lets you adjust all of these settings to whatever you like. Now, that's about it for the power settings. Other settings you could change on the Stealth Ultra is the charging light color for when the controller is charging. You can change your social alert notifications. And lastly, you can reset the controller to its default configuration. That's pretty much everything in the command display. To stop controlling it, click on the input focus button and you're back to your game. And that's everything you need to know about the Stealth Ultra. If you're watching this video but haven't yet bought the Stealth Ultra for whatever reason, go to the link in the video description and buy yours today for just 10 easy installments of just $19.99. All installments are paid at once, by the way, so it's $200. Anyways, I'm Bijan Jamshidi. Thanks for watching and have a great day every day. Peace.